stuffed with their own trials, association with good people and learned personalities. It could be stuffed. Then it must be well packed with your determination. That is vairagya, sankalpa or chitta. So it must be skinned. Then God or a godly, godlike, God-sent person should vivify and activate it with spirit. Now we are in only skeleton model. It should be stuffed, skinned and splitted in our various things. So that type of availability is very much uncommon in the society. Very much less in the society. Unless we make that, there is no possibility for that. Second thing is there is no common minimal program between various spiritual groups. A lot of spiritual groups are there. They are having their own acharyas, they are having their own worship and other things, and they are very much attributed towards their acharyas, towards their lineage inseparably. Irrespective of their status, there are innumerable people like that, and they are having thousands of millions of followers. But when there is a crisis for the religion commonly, when there is a need for support, there is no common minimal program effectively done. That is the second major problem which we are facing now. So unless we make that common minimal program between, already I am having thousands of followers and he will be having hundreds of followers. When there is a common program, these 1,100 people, they are not delegated for a common purpose to show a federal strength in the society. If you show a strength in the society, that will imbibe other people also who will be inspired. That will create a democratic threat in the society wherein our things will be heard and there will be a proper response from government. So for getting everything sanctioned from the public, from government and agencies, there must be a combined union of various people assembling for a common purpose. That type of common minimal programming we should pray, because we cannot meet great people and bell them. We can just pray that there can be a common minimal program. And the third problem that we are facing with the society is, apart from these various other entanglements, whatever we are having in the form of people, now I am speaking, he is speaking, lot of people are speaking, we are speaking about rishis. Then there arises a question. A person similarly in the question and answer session, he asked, are we a rishi? Have you seen a rishi? Are you suitable to be a communicator or adapter of a rishi? He asked the question. We don't know. We are talking about a rishi model. If we are talking about a rishi model, either we must be a rishi, or we must have the major qualities of a rishi, or we must have at least the receptivity to be an adaptator or a communicator with a rishi. So we must be having Arshatva, Arsha Sambandha or Arshanugraha. We can develop Arshanugraha by means of practicing the inculcations and injunctions of our ancestors. We can create Arshanugraha Patra Muktatva, in which we can get the blessings of rishis. And whatever we are seeing now, I have heard lot of lectures in which people say that the rishis, they moved in ether, they went inside the ocean. Okay, now can we use the techniques? They have worshipped God and they have contemplated for millions of years to get the power. And where is the time? Who is ready to, for even 2 or 3 years of study, the people are not interested. They want crash courses. Within 10 days, they want to learn how to master cosmic spirit in Reiki. So that people, will they be ready? Even if they are ready, the language is not ready, they cannot work for that. So now whatever we are seeing as technological development is nothing but a substitution for our inherent laws. That's why the Shastra say it is a substitution for our inherent laws. For example, all the people before few millennia, they were capable of having the Vedas in their memory. They did not have any book or printed format, and even formally scripts were not used in most of the Pathshalas. Now the print industry is not only development of a technology, but also it is a compensation which substitutes the inherent loss of conscient memory, capable memory which the people had. We have lost the memory and we are having this. Likewise, calculator, computer, each and everything is not only in the modern view, if you see that it is a technological advancement. And in our view, if we see that it is a substitution for our inherent loss. We had those things without the intervention of any mechanism. We were capable of doing it with our own will, for which we require a machine. We require a mechanical intervention. That's what I told. Even after 10 or 20 years, if you ask somebody their names, they will just ask us to wait for a minute. They will see the computer and they will repeat. They will reply. Like that, the person's cognitive skill has been eroded, and it has been substituted by a lot of mechanisms which is not a development at all. So what is the model of adoption of civilization? Can we completely adopt the civilization which was there before 2000 years? Is it a complete adoption or essential adoption or a tailored or suitable mode of adoption? We cannot have complete adoption, you know that. We are not in that environment, we have crossed a long way. Second thing is suitable model, which we are going to discuss now. Third, there is a wrong philosophy that is being propagated in the society. That is what we call essential adoption. What is essential adoption? You forget all the mantras, tantra, puja, vidhana, everything. You just follow truth, non-violence, purity, all of these things. This is very impossible. Because there are a lot of problems in essential absorption. Because there is a philosophy known as suction. What is suction? If you follow the dress code of a person, of a system, it will lead you to follow the system at all. Then it leads you to go to the language. It makes you to go into the behaviors. It makes you to go into the lifestyle, and it ends in the character. So according to Shastras, if you make a lifestyle by means of a cloth, that is a dress style or something, then actually that leads to the language, the behaviors, then the mind setup, and it ends with the character. That's why the great people, they were very much firm with their acharas and practices. According to our heritage, having a dress code, having the tilak, having something which represents our culture, that is a very strong reminder and facilitator of our thoughts to be in a proper orbit and axis. Because even though if something is followed externally, that may pave a way to go into that mind setup, language, behaviors and characters. This thing is unavoidable. And what do you mean by character here? What do you mean by character here? Character is defined as the levels of rigidity, liberty, tolerance and flexibility. How far you can be flexible, where you can be flexible, where you are rigid, how far you are tolerant, and what is the status of your liberty. So this distinguishes a person's character. Some people, you know, that they are tolerant for even greatest things. Even greatest aberrations, they are tolerant in some systems. Even for a smallest thing, it is minded with more care. In some systems, it is very natural. So this is what we call character. So in this character, we have to be very much careful in distilling all of these things in both ethics. Visible ethics and subtle ethics. What is subtle ethics? It deals with celibacy and chastity, respect and bondage, total renunciation and charity or benevolence. These things are subtle ethics. You share everything with all of the people, that is benevolence. If you give it to all, that is known as benevolence. If you throw them away, that is known as renunciation. And moreover, there is a system of respect. One, there was a lecture in which we addressed whatever we are having, like getting up, folding the hands, then covering your mouth and prostration, everything that we practice in a system of respect, it is a spontaneous emergence in a mature soul. And it is not created by compulsion or by any other rule and regulation. That which is spontaneous has been experienced by people. So whatever we give to elders, whatever we give to scholars, that is the respect system here, and family bondage. So bondage and respect or reverence, detachment and benevolence, as well as celibacy and chastity, these things are known as subtle ethics. These subtle ethics are to be understood only from our system, wherein most of the people, their tolerance and liberty levels are entirely different. So here only the character differs from the west to east. If you follow in the dress code, then immediately it penetrates with the character at all. Then it will create a very big confusion in the society. And Shastra has also given some exemptions. Where in the dress, there are also two people. Those who are in orthodoxy and hypocrisy. Those who are in the structure, those who are in the style of the religion, so-called heritage. There are a lot of hypocritic personalities and orthodox personalities who are no longer used to the society. And even in a different suit, there are people whose inner suit is very much attuned to our heritage. The outer suit may be different. These things are just exceptional models, not exemplary models. So we have to take an even suit. Whenever we go to temple, whenever we are before elders, we have to put our own structure and style. We must be with our representation of our own heritage, which is a good reminder, facilitator and booster of our spirit of pride and the spirit of our commitment towards restoration of the glory of our culture. So we have to follow all of these things. So what is the greatness of India in that, you know that there are three systems of life. They are known as instinctive based elements. One is hedonism. Life is for just enjoying, so enjoy the life. And second thing is intrinsic or instinctive justification. We are having instinct, so we are doing that. Why God has created that? It is a type of justification like that. And the third thing is abstemious grant. Nothing is a fault or nothing is to be prohibited if they are done abstemiously to a limit.